maybe you can understand it as a feeding frenzy. Let's take 10 sharks and 1 seal. Not much left of the seal if 10 sharks are around. Seal gets obliterated, lost. So now let's shift that focus for a moment and let's look at 10 belief systems all coming and converging and giving you a massive amount of distraction, feeding off of you, the little baby seal. Soon you're going to be depleted into nothing. You're going to have no identity, don't know what to do, and you're just going to give up and freak out. Stand by. Let me shut off the phone. Have a good class. That was from Aisley. So let's look at all of these beliefs, and we're gonna parry it up with Jennifer's statement earlier. Her Roxy talked about last night. See, creation in and of itself is not intentional. Okay, it's truth. Your ego isn't intending for you to do anything because that's a value of time. What it is an immediate truth. And that immediate truth needs to know itself as existence. It is an internal instinct of a separated idea. Now let's look at that. You've created a personality that begs itself on life. And the only way it sustains life is through depicted, valued emotions, period. This is why Shagufta is feeling like shit, and she wishes she can feel good because something hasn't clicked in her mind. I'll tell her what it is. Emotions, no bad nor good, are not to be run away from. They are to be embraced. When you embrace these truths through acceptance of them, you're feeling bad, you want to feel good. Why? Because it hurts to feel bad? It does. But isn't that joyful? Exquisite? Shifting over to Sonia, fearing everyone having a bad time. Let's not talk about homeless. Why not? What in creation needs to be left out? Go on, God. Tell us what you want to extinguish. Go ahead. Start cutting away experiences. Go ahead. We'll wait for you. You want to get rid of all the blacks? Or maybe all the fucking Chinese, huh? How about the fucking starving people? Let's get to a bigger thing. Let's get rid of all the rich people, no matter if they're white or black or Latino. Let's just cut out, cut and cut, and keep cutting. Now let's see what we have left. Only the perfect people. But see, I can't have perfection because I am avoiding my wholeness. So I have to cut out further. I have to cut out even the ones that I thought I liked, but now I find something else wrong with them because I'm not exploring a vibration that is existable. So I have to cut out what I objectify as extinguishable, a problem, making me feel bad. So I'll cut that out. So now let's get rid of all the people. All the animals are beautiful. I will live with animals. Now I don't like the one. That one has stripes. See, stripes are kind of ugly to me now because I need to survive on a feeling, and I can't feel good about anything around me because I'm running out things to feel good. I got to feel bad to feel good. So now I feel bad. Let's cut out to feel good again. Let's do that for each other. You think this is intention? This is God being a truth. My dear warriors, do you not see that? You have allowed yourself, through vulnerability, to experience the bliss of an immeasurable reality through a measured mind. And your partaking in referencing the result would be that of atrocious, hard, upsetting, all fearful, leading to protection. Sonia, warrior princess, don't talk about homeless. Why? Jennifer just said, I lived 4 months with no home. It's not that bad. But see, that's what? What is that, class? That's an experiencer of truth. But the minds coveted in the experiencer of theory, using emotion as the predicated cause and effect or interpretation of that reality. So in other words, Sonia felt it would be horrible, and so she stifled the idea of a conversation by stepping up as the protectress she is, and said, don't talk about that, because that's bad. Really? It's not in her universe, but she feels compassion for her fellow masters. So now she understands that she cares. Care and concern is human. Mastery is allowance of each person to be themselves. Now let's discuss something you've missed, maybe need to be refreshed on. Jennifer has, and Grisa, allowed people that were once obtuse, still are in the current, but only in the moment of interaction truly. And since they are not in Jennifer, sister, not in Grisa's grandmother, all nows, then there is a time that they are not that obsession obtuse, a rockin' reality of criticisms. What they have discovered is if they allow, as we have said before, Osiphus, many times, what you provide, a garden of the gods. I like to call it the Garden of Eden, because it allows people to play within and see something they've never seen. What they would call a reaction that they weren't expecting. See, that's a neutral field. And when the mirror is not colored with the same vibration of expectancy, then the only thing that happens is a bombardment of vibration into that pursuer of criticism, egging you on to get a reaction, get a rise out of you, push your buttons. They see something they've never seen before. Themselves. Now, they don't understand the reflection. They don't get it, that it is them they're seeing. But it is a true vibration of authentic that they are seeing, feeling, experiencing, which gives them internal thought, a connection back to the authentic. Because the Garden of Eden you provide without the obtuse objection of people just speaking their goddamn truth, then you've allowed them to see a reflection that they have been hiding from, that they're afraid to explore, to know themselves as, it may be me that's a critical son of a bitch. But as long as they're being fed the reflection of perfection, which in expectancy mind uses as its catalyst of moving through this land mind, a reality you guys are so objectionable to, yet chose, then the result is a different awareness. See, this is what we mean by providing them a space, a way to express. This class is where you get to get it out. So get it out. And then you'll have the balls and courage, as Shagufta found out she doesn't, to speak her joy or truth in front of other people because she's so deathly afraid of the results of time. But in the now, she experiences the bliss of it. But she won't go to the bliss because she's afraid to understand that everything that she's been taught to avoid is the fountain of youth she's been seeking, is the way to be unconditional, brings truth, vitality, and vigor to the isness once returned that she so desperately seeks in time. All of you have this. Yet you sit there reacting all day long, which is not to be judged unless you take it as a judgment. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, are the words of Shagufta, relayed by the counter of Jennifer. But that's just in time, Shagufta. Yes, because the mind is not intentional, the mind is truth. And let's go there finally. The intention of creation is not anywhere in time. Time labels and allows the space for a reality that could be defined as intention. Time is a realm, or dimension, or density, depending on your point of view, wherever you add it into the mixture of the now. So now let's understand that intention does not allow itself to be experienced unless it has an element of time with it. Space is easy. You guys understand space? It's a set thing for you. But what you don't understand is time. Because this is space, then time. Now, if you understand time, space, then you would have a different relationship with time. Because in time, space, you have no space until you create time. And when time is created, then you get to experience having room, movement in your world. Look at that over here and let it go for a moment. So she judges herself because the truth allows her a reaction. And the turncoat mind labels the reaction as intention because it keeps giving you another story. Intention is not a bad thing because it leads to great inventions, great accomplishments, humanity's well-fought battle in the ascension of a species from the Dark Ages, using each other's love, climbing over each other, killing each other, stacking the bodies, birthing each other, loving each other, crying with each other, doing everything it can to realize you're God. And you have turned to an accelerated class. Ah, a chest parallel, the accelerated dragon. Lovely. So what do we mean by this intention? The universe doesn't have intention. Creation is non-intentional. It just is. So when you think your mind is giving you something on purpose, it's not. When you think your reality is giving you a reason, it's not. When you think, Shagufta, that you're in this idea of experience of bad because of your intentional choices of the past that have given you the result that you don't desire, it's not. Because nothing has anything to do with time unless you add time into it. Period. So Jennifer is correct. You're looking at a regret because you're having a bad time because of what you've done and what you failed to do. See, when you fail to speak your joy, we have told you many times, Shagufta, as well as you and the new ears in the class, that you have an infinite number of do-overs. But your mind of age does not believe you're going to have enough do-overs to get it right, and the cycle is continued. What you need to understand that you do have an infinite number of do-overs called now. And if you let the value go of what you've done wrong because you're having a shitty now, then you must look at that shitty now and say, look what I did right for me, so I can be shitty for the first time. Because it is an experience that is immeasurable. But the mind avoids and blames and intentionalizes a better future for you, Shagufta. You're always debating on the right decisions, and you're so afraid to make a decision for yourself. You're scared to death to be Shagufta, as if you are a fucking person that can be defined. You always have to juggle your ideas of reality, the difference of you and what Sam truly wants. You won't face the facts that this motherfucker doesn't want to love you. He's using you as a commodity. And maybe if you try hard enough, then he'll love you for you. But you're only bending your own light into a box that doesn't fit his world, no matter how damn much you decorate it. But see, Sam's a god. So if I'm unconditional with myself, then Sam has a potential, as Jennifer and Grisa has provided for those people, somewhere to express his truth. And it will not be met with, girlish acceptance. You're right. It'll be met with truth from a God being unconditional unto themselves. And then Sam may have an opportunity to love himself unconditionally and become that long-lost lover that you've been seeking under rocks and bushes and folklore. You gotta understand that this is not, in any way, shape, or form, a meaning, an intention, a betterment, a worse, that this whole thing, every now, just is. And that's a big one to swallow for you guys. It is. Because it is. All right. So what we mean in furtherment, let's explore together. Your intention of a tomorrow takes vibrations of 1,000 pasts, not only yours, the intricate woven prism of the now of human psyche. Each and every vibrational match to the current that you are is a potential drawing to use intention as a palette of choice. Intention in your mind goes through 1,000 little things before you're even aware of it. Because you're too busy worried. Okay? So you only get about 3 or 4 of the good ideas, because the rest of them don't match your frequency, although they're within your psyche, but they don't match your conscience allowance in the moment, and therefore with your intention you get 3, 4, maybe 5 ideas. If you think long enough, back up and you get 7 or 8 or maybe even 10. And see, that's the intentional mind, but it's not the intentional mind that has its own personality to intend betterment for you. It's a vibration of truth. Now let's dive into that. That vibration of truth has elements, space, and time, because that's what you know as a valid truth. So of course it's going to give you time with that intention. Without time, you could never intend. But since you validate time, you have intention. And so the vibration of the truth of the now, reality is created, the mind has time, so therefore it sees results. And in those results, it automatically, so fast, oh, so fucking unbelievable, measures. And then you get an instant reaction. The body and the now are so fucking fast. Someone says one word and then you're fucking, I know it, and you fall apart a second later. That is all the glory of a God creating instantaneous in the now. So let's break that down. Why does an intention immediately come afterward to pursue you in a way of relief? Well, because you don't like feeling bad, because you were taught to feel good. The baby cries, the parent thinks it hurts. Well, it may be hungry, it may have gas, it may have fallen. But the baby has experienced a third density reality. It doesn't know itself. So it's going to use whatever is available in its own truth within the immediate psyche of humanity to express. And laughter and cries is what you usually get. But you also get some different experiences to the sharp mind, because most parents don't believe that there's a God there. So they see an infant and they focus on their reality and check in and make sure baby is well. But the baby is having an experience and it doesn't need to be paid attention with such reverence. But it is giving off an enormous amount of expression, unnoticed by most because it doesn't mean anything. They can't equate it to a value system of what is meaningful in life. But to the child, it is priceless. Oh, yes. Of course. Right? But you can't be the experiencer of another's point of view, much like Sonia. She can't understand what it is to be homeless unless she decides to go homeless. But she's so goddamn afraid of being homeless, she doesn't want that for anyone because it's such a treacherous. Now, here comes the mind. We're going to take a side note here. Here comes the mind. Well, do I have to experience homelessness to understand? No, you don't. What you have to be is accepting some reality now, and nothing else comes in time. And if you end up and look up one day and go, holy shit, I'm homeless, it's going to be surprising to you how you never realized you were until you labeled it. Because the experience of the now is immeasurable. Intention, as all other emotions, valued, important in whatever scaled, are in time. So back to the idea. You got this vibrational reality, a covet, and it's a nasty fucker. It's got a lot of energy. It is, I mean, it's just, well, hell, let's say it. It's God. Because it's a truth, chosen. Let's get a little tea. This is Katie's tea that sent to Roxy. It was spearmint tea. Really good. You know, it's like that, you know, you just want to do a commercial. So, anyways, so this feisty little covet, nasty fucker, full of God, doesn't go anywhere because it is time. How many times have you been reminded of what you've been doing wrong? Externally and internally. Wrong is time. That covet then that you have expressed has time in it. You're not going to get rid of it because you cannot cut reality out. You can't take 1 ounce of existence and cut it out. because you're having a bad time, when truly you're having an unconditional time. But time itself, with everything that is in it, gives you the experience of bad. Because you have not taken the fortitude in your own worthiness to explore the shit side of life, to allow it to no longer defend, to rip away everything, as Gadiza has, that he found valuable as a dependency of image. He still has some stuff in him, he knows it. But he's not to be revered or pedestaled. He is truly to be nothing except vibrationally accepted as is. And whatever that is to you is now. And then it's gone. Unless you pin a cockroach. Unless you pin a little tail on it that says time, and of course that experience becomes a valued covet. So through the classes and Roxy's best version of herself, she's given you ways to understand coveting, and since Roxy is becoming more of a god, unconditional, you get a different reference point of relationship to what beliefs are today. Beliefs are truly just a truth. And you see, beliefs is a softening word for truth. Because real creates reality, you know that. Real is reality, and truths are that. And Shagufta had a bad time yesterday, a meltdown, because the way she was feeling was a measured thing. So her mind, her emotions give her that, and her mind gives her a reason for this. It gives her an intentional idea of how to solve it. She can define it, cause, effect, and things like that. But see, to understand it intimately is to do nothing about it, which is absolutely paradoxical to everything on the planet. Everything says, change your reality, and that must be done through intention. Everyone is sick. Everyone needs to look better. You're not doing anything really right. If you're uneducated, you're losing out on life. You're really not good if you don't have a great education. Well, if you don't do something, you don't do. It's maddening, isn't it? And here you are, a baby, getting a ball thrown at you, and you got one, and get another one, and got none, and get another one. And all of a sudden, they keep throwing fucking balls at you, and you're trying to juggle fucking life with a comprehensional idea of, I'm not a god. Do you see how many people fail if you want to measure it? Let's measure it. Look how many people are dying every fucking day. Death is not a haphazard idea. Death is a choice. It is not a conscious choice unless you suicide yourself with, let's say, death by cop is one thing. Still a suicide. You have that choice. But these people are just not truly vibrating in truth to this reality because they can't handle it any longer. Their mind has given in, and it's allowed itself, the mind, to know itself is dead. The mind is capable of knowing itself is dead. So death occurs. Why? Well, because it's truth. And if you are the kingdom of your own holodeck bubble, then who's to say you can't do that? Well, nobody. What you're now experiencing, however, is a relationship with those belief systems that lead to death, that lead to failure, that lead to giving up and leaving because it's too goddamn hard here. And humanity's a train wreck, juggling themselves to accuracies of what's important so she can feel, or they can feel, or I can feel better about just one fucking moment. And noticing the satisfaction of that moment is quickly diminishing in time, and I have to get on my ass and do it again. And now you're seeing that relationship with these truths in a new way today, because I'm a master at this. And I can't have anyone in my presence unless they're a master full themselves. And what you're actually doing is not being the covets. You're just simply realizing that tiny little fucking belief system that looks like a goddamn tornado. And it's so hard to control and change and hold on to and make it different. You're trying everything you can. 10 years later, you're still fucking trying, but you can do it. And 10 years later, or you just look at it and say, come on, let me know what you are. It's like curiosity. All of you have curiosity. There was an open door and you heard some sexual couple. Most of you take a peek. Some of you, if you heard a murder, you wouldn't take a peek. It would be too horrible. But that's not the actual occurrence, is it? No, it's not. That's the details that the mind sells you a story on. What's actually happening is vibration. And if you find something that is in your reality that is no longer preferred, or instantly not preferred, or maybe in time that's not preferred, maybe you need to look at that and not be so quick to move it out of your reality and then explain it away, have a conniption, feel bad about yourself, allow your judgments to come in instead of validating them as they come in, and then maybe you can see what it is to shift a belief system that is what you would consider in you truth, yours. That's why it's a difficult process, everybody. You know, they were talking last night, Jen and Katie and Roxanne. For those of you who are old school in the class, a couple of years, you would notice that the differences in the classes. Before, there was pretty much Sly in here kicking everyone's ass, motherfucking everybody, just ripping everyone apart because they couldn't shut the fuck up. So Roxy showed them with Sly that if they stop thinking, they actually can feel and see something else about themselves. So they've done that, and they have provided a space for the newbies to come here and observe differently because it's a vibrational match. See, so what does that tell you? That there's only now and there's never evolution. Why? Are you smarter than the old people from a couple of years ago and you can walk into this class and start interpreting and understanding? Are you better? No, you're just your truth. See that? They provided a space and time, and that can be measured. But what the truth of it is that you are the truth of yourself, and therefore you're here and now. With the potential. And the potential is to understand that how you got here doesn't fucking matter. Evolution truly doesn't occur unless you add time in and label your wherever you decide to put a push pin on the cork of life and tie it together with a fucking yarn. So you can do that. Or you can just be the now, and whatever comes up, let it talk to you. Let it understand. See, your ego is so goddamn powerful because what you've been taught is a truth, and that offers the immediacies of intentional action to avoid. So sometimes when we offend you guys, you want to get back at us because the mind is selling you a story. And you can rip us up and fuck off and click out of the class or do whatever the hell you want. But see, what that does is give you a relationship with what you are, not me. I am never that what you say. I am that what you say unto yourself. To say anything to me is a potential for me to experience. That's the beauty of unlimited. Limitation says you have to listen to me and you must confide and you must believe. And if you don't, then I'm just going to come up with ways to say that you're a fucking idiot. So I can continue my truth. So let's all sit at a round table and consider ourselves knights today. And then I would like someone, let's say anybody, to toss a belief system in the middle of the table. And let's watch it fester around, because it is not being donned. It is being observed. So it's looking around at each and every one of us to give us an attention other than observation. It's just sitting there going, fuck you, give me, fuck, come on, and no one's doing anything, and we're just watching this thing. And you're going to notice, it's just so fucking, and this guy, it's going to start to lose its energy. Because none of the knights at the table want to give it homage. None of you masters in this Garden of Eden, this space provided, is going to pay attention to a human psyche belief. It doesn't matter who put it on the table, does it? I mean, it is one, isn't it? So let's provide that space. The night table is only there when you want it to be. And when you want it to be, it is always there. And you can sit anyone at the table with you. And you can throw that belief out there and you can observe it. And you're going to watch all the things it's going to say. It says, you can't do this. You have to do this. This is the right thing. Watch what happens if you don't. I'm going to make you feel like shit. And it does. It has a complementary. How do you say that, anybody?
Complementary
card, and it cashes it in at your emotional door, and it tells you, and you go, yeah. Complementary. That's a long word. We could have just said here. Let's get us some more of the spearmint tea, shall we? All right. So now you've had enough of beliefs for right now. You have an objectional idea that's pictured in your mind on how to allow beliefs to understand themselves if left unfed, despite the mastery of vibration, giving you all the reasons of intention to change the feeling. See, you guys don't want to change a good feeling. You want more of it. So you have intention on how to keep it around. Wrap your arms around it. Make sure you keep it as long as you can. Milk the motherfucker until the tit runs dry. Don't you? You got to keep it going because you just can't be nothing. These are truths that were bestowed upon a child, and the child covered that which it understood. And each child understands itself differently than every other child ever born or ever will be forever. And those childs are the same as you. So don't depict time here as an age, because you yourself are a forgotten God, remembering. Just because you have time doesn't make you better. It just makes you more limited. That's all.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
So I love what you said about beliefs are soft versions of the truth.
Mm.
So our truths are pretty much the outcome or the expression of a filter, right?
Well, they're not a filter. They're truths.
No, I
What
know, but
change?
they are.
No, they're not a filter.
I didn't say they were a filter. I
What
said
then?
they
What
were the
did you say?
expression. I said they're the expression that we have from a coveting filter. It's what we believe right in the moment.
The truth.
Right.
Yes. Whether it has a belief system or not is irrelevant. But you
Okay.
have to understand your relationship because there's many truths that don't have a belief system. You want to make it relevant. This is my truth. I feel great about it. Good. But then if you label it, then you're labeling an experience as a truth, and that becomes diminished, doesn't it?
Right. So when
Okay,
I'm
hang on. Let me finish this. Now, I know you're impatient. Just stick with me for a moment. You'll get to it. So now that you have a truth that you are realizing you're expressing, that you are observing as now a covet, a filter. Is that where you were going?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so keep going now.
So what I'm understanding right now is that the measurement comes from us defining intention. When
Not
time
necessarily intention, defining probabilities with what we
okay,
understood historically through the truths that we bought into.
so time and space are basically natural intention,
Space time. Space
space
is not
time.
natural, and you're not in time space. If you were fourth density, you would be there, but now in your space time. So space is not an intention. It provides intention as well as time does. I'd like to move over there. That's intention to move space. That's where you get
Right.
to experience. It is a provider of that reality. Make
Right.
sense?
I guess yeah. I think my mind is it's stuck on this thing about the thing you said with beliefs. It's like now I understand that shifting a belief or shifting a truth is literally shifting God. It's shifting
Yes.
and that's why it's so powerful.
Your godship. Yes. It's your truth to express. When you express, you get a reality. I mean,
Right.
that's going to happen forever. You will never not be a truth and you'll never not be awareness having an experience of your own truth. So you have to investigate your truth. And through that are 1,000 fucking mind traps. What do you call those things? Land minefields. Thank you. Land minefields. It's difficult.
So basically the image that I'm getting is that here, this playground, we feel as humans, everything is coming at us and we need to get rid of it, when we've actually come to discover all of these things that are limitless, that we put a limit on. And once we shift that idea of attack at and understand discovery of, freedom is found.
Well, yes, that's one way. Sure, it makes perfect sense. But all this stuff that's coming at you, let's understand what you don't need to do with it. Make sense now? You don't need
Right,
to do
yeah, there you
with
go.
anything coming at you. Because if you do something with it, that means you're putting a value in, and whatever you're doing with it is going to be conditioned because there's an objection to it. Whether it is a good objection or a labeled objection, a polarized, a bad objection. No matter where you place it on an emotional measured scale, if you are having a thing with that thing that's coming in, then it's going to be a thing of human psyche because it's the core of you. Are you
And
following
that's
that?
that's the truth. That's just immediate.
Of course it's immediate. There's no time.
Right.
You add
Yeah.
time to the immediacy of the moment.
Yeah. I mean, it really goes to show that we can't do anything about anything. It just is there. So why not
Well,
just
see,
sit and
what
enjoy it?
happens, hang on for a second. No, that's, you can't do anything about anything leaves a possibility of intentional for all the class to mean what? Forever? Permanently? What you can do is do everything you are in the now, being a participant of the now, but not with intention. Being an absolute embracer of your reality, okay? Then you understand your relationship with those covets that give you an emotional ranged experience. Once you understand those truths, the emotional range becomes depleted because you're not valuing time and emotion as a good or bad thing. You're just the experiencer, absolutely vulnerable to the now. Then you understand what it is to be a creator once again that doesn't have intention, but is its own truth. In other words, if you had an immediate idea of being happy, in other words, you expressed your happiness. Okay, I need an artist. Is there an artist in the room?
Katie.
Katie. Okay, Katie, unmute yourself. What kind of an artist are you?
I paint, make
Okay,
jewelry.
so you stop,
Yeah.
you paint. So if you are painting and you're having a explicit time with painting,
Mhm.
yes or no?
Yes.
So if you could paint for the rest of your life, would you?
Yes, I'm going to.
Well, wait a minute. See, that's just such a bullshit answer. You know that because you're not going to, because you just validated you're going to, which means you're convincing yourself you're going to, which is a limit of hope. What I'm trying to get you to see is painting is not your happiness. Your truth is expression that's equal to painting.
Mm.
Now this leads back to Shagufta, not wanting to express herself in truth because of too much fear. She will not investigate the fear, become a failure to Sam and her parents, become the outcast, become the degradation, become a failure because she prides herself on being that. And that gives you emotion. But see, I bet your sweet young ass, Katie, that when you are painting, you are no emotion. You are not in any bliss except the bliss that is immeasurable. Because you are expression of absolute unfiltered truth. And you put the paintbrush down and you go back to your life. because you define the two acts as separate. Masters, expression, truth, where you are going, where are you returning to, is now. It does not wait for identity to fill it. Thank you, Katie. So you must see that these covets that are stifling your own God-given glory to express truth has elements of time, has elements that would be caused and affected with the element of time. You must be these things intimately with no defense, open to all realities, to let those around you as well as yourself deplete all of your image, despite the mind of pride fighting gallantly to hold you together. The juggling baby at such a young age to keep the image alive. Daphne asks the difference between space-time. Daphne, look around your room. Do you see that you have a distance between you and your wall?
Yes.
That is space. Do you understand that?
Mm-hmm.
What time is it?
It's 10 minutes past 7 in the evening.
So now you have time in space. Space comes first, then you add time. That is space-time. Are you with me thus far?
Yes.
Stifle your mind. It sounds like you are in your new apartment, are you?
Yeah, my kitty is playing.
Because you don't have a lot of furniture because there's a lot of echo.
It's empty, almost
Yes.
empty.
Get your furniture in there.
I'm on
Okay.
a big chair.
So now let's go into the fourth density class. And now let's understand your now. And you have no space around you because you are now. But since you are fourth density, you have an ally, time. So you validate time. So right now, let's say it's 10:56 p.m. And now in that moment, you go to time and you surround yourself with time, and then space is created for you to experience any amount of time you want. Time creates space, whereas here, space creates time as potential, and vice versa. Any more questions would be stifling to your isness. Don't offend yourself. Let it sink in. So you're up against a monster of time, a monster of beliefs. But it's not a monster. It's your truth. We give you that image so you can see what you're up against. But it's not that. Because you are literally that truth. You must bring it home. You must take that objectional thing that you hold outside of yourself through a filter. It's coming into you already. And you run it through a filter, and then it just changes how you feel about that unconditional world that has its own life, its own expression. And the only way you can survive this is to see it in a way that you like. And if you don't like it, my God, you need to change it. And that's the bliss of lost gods. Innocence lost, I love that. The lost gods are innocent. The awoken gods are innocence lost. You no longer have the right to not know. You've lost that in awakening. The sleep do not know. You have awareness of seeing what you are no longer preferring as your truth. Why do you hate so much? Why do you pity so much? Why do you care so much? Why are you such a protector? What are you harboring as regret or betrayal, grudges? These are things of time that you value, and every single ounce of energy you ever give it to it keeps it as a truth within your will of the now that runs by itself. So returning to the idea of creation, when you become synced, no longer timed, with your truth, you will have an experience that I can never equate to you using English or human words, because they cannot match the frequency. Unconditional provides conditions. To be unconditional, no condition could be valued. All right. I think that's all we have for today. We are the Gestalt of Intelligence once again. Roxy would like us to stay around because she's exploring something in her with our vibration. So here we are. Till tonight, we will bid you a good day, my masters.